This is Quinn Hughes, the 2024 Norris Trophy winner, captain of the Vancouver Canucks, franchise player, and without a doubt, one of, if not the best defenseman in the world, depending on the night. This is a player that comes along potentially once in a lifetime for a franchise. And now he's gone to the Minnesota Wild in a crazy trade that shocked everyone. If you're Vancouver, this should have never have happened. But a disaster of the last 24 months has led to the face of the franchise and potentially one of the best D-men to ever play the game being shipped out in the prime of his career. So, what's the deal? Who won? Who lost? How will it impact both teams? And what does this all mean going forward? Well, let's take a deeper look. Now, the final trade is this. Minnesota trades Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, Zeev Buium, and a 2026 first-round pick, all for Quinn Hughes. Now, this all happened pretty fast. Friedman reported on Thursday night that the Quinn Hughes trade talks were underway, although he did admit it was hard to determine when the Canucks might pull the trigger on the deal. It all just came together and shocked absolutely everyone. Now, why the hell is one of the best defensemen in the world and the captain of the Canucks being shipped in the prime of his career? Well, the rumors around the Canucks captain were everywhere in recent weeks, as Vancouver just dove further and further into Bettman's basement. Just in case you forgot, last season was also a disaster for the Canucks too. A whole bunch of injuries, a lot of drama between Elias Pettersson and JT Miller meant that the circus in Vancouver was loud and distracting, and it impacted their on-ice performance in every way possible. Despite that, when healthy, Quinn Hughes still carried the team and made Vancouver look like a completely different animal when he was in the lineup. Fast forward to this season, you start the year with a whole bunch of injuries which don't help. The Canucks lose a bunch of games and, well, the rumors start flying like crazy. Between his brother Jack stirring the pot a little bit about where his brother may end up and Quinn not being totally committed to staying in Vancouver long term, the Canucks clearly felt that the captain wasn't going to be in it for the long haul. So they didn't want a Tkachuk situation or a Marner situation, and they got ahead of it and pulled the trigger with the Minnesota Wild. Now, one of the best defensemen in the world joins one of the best teams in the NHL, but how exactly will it help them? Well, we're going to see how Hughes' game transitions onto the Wild and amplifies their strengths firsthand very soon. But strictly from a number standpoint, Mike Kelly on X had a fantastic tweet about how Quinn Hughes can improve the Wild in areas that they are struggling. First off, in terms of puck possession, zone exits, and zone entries, Quinn Hughes ranks first among all defensemen. Okay, sick. What a cheat code. He also ranks third in scoring chances and second in turnover rate. These are all areas where the Wild struggle. When it comes to zone exit success rate, they're 11th in the league, not bad. But zone entry success rate, they're 27th. Their rush chances, they're dead last in the league. And their turnover rate, they're 18th in the NHL. Just from rankings and numbers alone, Hughes will transform the way the Wild control games. This guy is a one-man breakout when it comes to beating opponents' forechecks and being able to work the entire team up the ice for more controlled entries with a numbers advantage. Quinn Hughes tilts the scale in a way that should totally transform the Wild's rush game. Now, another interesting note from Mike Kelly is that the Wild attempt more stretch passes than any other team in the league, but connect below average, and as a result, they lead the league in icings. The Wild clearly tactically love to stretch out their opponents, but with their personnel, the execution was lacking. Hughes, on the other hand, leads the league in completed stretch passes. He's simply one of the best in the world at timing his feeds and catching opposing D-structures off guard with a quick up pass. Now, the Wild are also a team that love to activate all 5 players in the O-zone and get coverages all confused with motions and assignments. But then you add a player like Quinn Hughes in the mix. You give Kaprizov all kinds of opportunities to work these high scissor routes and seam passes to create high danger opportunities off of Hughes. Hughes himself can, of course, single-handedly break these structures on his own. At any given moment, he can turn on the twinkle toes and get guys looking like they've never been on a pair of skates with the way they chase him when he has the puck. And so when you get the poise and patience of both of these superstars on the same team, it gives you all kinds of flexibility offensively to create a ton of magic. I also think Hughes' skill set could fit really well in a more hybrid style system like Minnesota has when it comes to defending. The Wild are just a bit more aggressive in their D zone. Hughes, in a more man-on-man style of system, can use his skating and his ability to close gaps extremely well. He can leverage his strengths even more so in a defensive scenario to get the upper hand. For reference, Cale Makar plays in a more man-on-man D system in Colorado, so in the D zone, when teams get the cycle going, he can use his speed and awareness to cut down plays immediately and close those gaps on threats. Now, Hughes did this really well in Vancouver, but in a more aggressive system like Minnesota's, his toolkit may fit very nicely. Or, of course, it couldn't. And really, that's the potential catch for all this, because the underlying worry for Wild fans is, did we just give up all that for Hughes to say, screw it, I'm leaving in a year and a half and I'm going to go play with my brothers when the deal is done? I mean, it's not the exact same, but we did see something similar last year with Mikko Rantanen. Obviously, the circumstances were a bit different in terms of the contract status, but Carolina gave up assets to get Rantanen. When it wasn't a great fit and there was no indication that he was staying, they decided to flip him again to Dallas to try and recoup on what they took on their swing. Now, we won't know for sure until we see a larger sample size, but there is zero guarantee of Hughes either A, fitting with the Wild in their system, even though personally I think he will, or B, wanting to stay beyond the year and a half he's got left on his current deal. It was even reported that his agent said under no circumstance that they could guarantee a contract extension with anyone. So it's not hard to imagine that if things don't work out, Hughes could potentially be flipped again in the future if they don't anticipate him staying. But for now, the Wild do got the Carillionaire, Quinn Hughes, and the NHL's second best goaltending tandem in terms of save percentage. You add multiple impact players under the age of 25 and salary cap room to work with in the summer, this Wild team could be a wagon, and the cup window is wide open. Now, as for the Canucks, the haul they got back was pretty damn good too. Marco Rossi is a 24-year-old left shot center who I think at his peak could be a very good number 2 center on a cup-winning team. He's got back-to-back 20-goal seasons with the Wild and is up to 13 points through 17 games on this season. Then you have the big piece, which is Ziv Buium. This kid could potentially be the number 1 defenseman that tries to fill the shoes of Quinn Hughes. Obviously, I don't think he'll be as good as Quinn Hughes, but he's got the potential to be something special. He's got the potential to be a really good QB1 on the first power play. 14 points in his first 31 games. That's not bad at all for a rookie D-man. But this trade, no matter who they got back or how it all pans out, is still a very dark day for the Canucks organization. Quinn Hughes may go down as one of the best defensemen in NHL history, and he should have been a Vancouver Canuck for life. They had 6 years and 2 different managerial regimes to build a contender around Quinn Hughes, and they flat out failed. Now the rebuild or retool starts all over for Vancouver yet again. So, what do you think of the trade if you have to give a percentage odds that Quinn Hughes stays in Minnesota beyond his current contract? What would you give it? 0%, 50%, 100%? Let me know in the comments down below, and let me know who you think won the trade. Personally, I think both teams did pretty well considering the situation, but I think the slam dunk winner is still Quinn Hughes. He gets to leave the disaster in Vancouver, come to a Wild team that could be a potential wagon, and if he doesn't like it, he could just say, screw this, I'm signing in New Jersey with my brothers when my deal is done, and I'm going to go torch the world with them. He gets the best of both situations, but only time will tell to see how this all pans out. So, let me know in the comments down below what you think. We're going to keep a close eye on the details of Hughes and the Wild's game over the next few weeks, so expect a more in-depth breakdown to come. Guys, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss a single thing when it comes to the NHL season.